Hello friends, so in the last session we indexed the PDF file and we have also searched the same on the Apache Solr admin page. So but how is Solr able to index rich text documents and how we can search it? So behind all these things it is happening because of Apache Tikka. Apache Tikka is nothing but it's a toolkit that detects and extracts the metadata and text from a thousands of different file types like such as PPT, XLS and PDF. So I don't confuse. We use Tesseract. So Tesseract is basically for images and not for other format. Tesseract is basically for images, videos and all these things. But for Word, PDF, all rest of the rich text format, we are able to index and we are able to search data with the help of because of Apache Tikka. So Apache Tikka is a content analysis toolkit which is running behind a Solr, and with the help of it we can easily detect and extract the metadata and all the required information from a rich text format like PPTs, XLS, Excel file, PDF. Okay, so it's basically a parser which basically parse and detect the metadata of the document which we have indexed in the Solr. So this is the home page of Solr. So it basically we can see it is running in the market from 2008. Okay, and now every 4 to 5 months they release a new version of the Apache Tikka. So Apache Tikka release, what changes they do in the all the versions. So basically they are making a Tikka parser is more intelligence to more to detect to analyze the content. I mean to analyze the more type of rich text format. So it's basically a parser which parse the document and get the content and get the metadata out of it. So though here we are working on Solr, so we can if we once we install Solr on our machine, so Tikka automatically get installed on your Windows in the Solr itself. But we can stand alone work on Apache Tikka if we don't want to use a Solr. We don't want to index the files in Solr. We just want to detect the content of the any rich text format, so we can download the Tikka from this site. It's basically Apache site, so we can download the latest release of the Tikka. We can install it on our machine, and then we can import the libraries of Tikka in our Java code, and then we can write a smart code which can basically go through the input directory which we can provide in our program, and it can get the all the metadata from that files which are placed inside that directory. So that is a very useful toolkit. It's one of the most popular project in the Apache. So but one thing, Tikka supports from Java 1.6, Java 6 onwards. You always remember this thing. If you have a lesser version of Java in your machine, sorry 7. If you have a lesser version of Java in your machine, then it won't work. So you need to have Java 7 or higher to build Tikka. It is clearly mentioned on this site. So that is the Apache Tikka. But how? Here we are working on the project called Solr. So how it basically work internally? So we can do one thing to understand it. We can cover it and we can go to little deep. So here this is Tikka 1.3. No, what we can do? We can go to Solr contrib extraction lib, and here we have Tikka parser 1.7. So whatever version is installed on your machine, you can copy this jar file and place it any folder. So let me delete it. It was already there. So let me copy it here, and what I can do, we can extract the files of this jar. Okay, so you should have 7-zip or any other software by which you can extract this jar file. So it will create a folder like this. Go to this folder, or Apache Tikka parser. So now we have all these folders internally. So here we have OCR. This is, we have already seen, it is for Tesseract. Okay, and apart from it, it has all these a format which is supported by Tikka. We can see we have text folder, so it support all the text file. So it basically contain all the classes which is basically executed, which is basically called while indexing any text file or searching any text file in the, actually while indexing any text file in the Solr. So all these classes. So Apache Tikka is basically a library written in Java. So when we index any file, any form, any document, it could be any format which is supported by Tikka. Then it basically internally call this jar, and inside this jar it call the appropriate, or maybe we can say it call the corresponding class file which support to index that document properly in the Solr. So for the text file, it called this class file, these class files. So it is a long, it contains a lots of files, lots of class file. It is basically a code which is able to pass the text document. So in the same way, in the last session we index the PDF. So for PDF we have this PDF parser file, or sorry, class files to pass the PDF. So here we have one property config file also, we can see here. So here we can define this property if we have some specific requirement. By default, I mean, I did not change it in my code, in my business requirement on which I am working, but if requires, you can change it, and in any file you will get this kind of information. And or maybe if you want more information, you can go to Apache org site, you will get more information about these files. So here we can see few properties like enable auto space, extract annotation text, sort by position, which is false, suppress duplicate overlapping text, which is false, use non-sequential parser, false, extract acro form content, true, extract inline images. So all these property are there for the PDF. Extract inline images, I know this property, it's basically I used it once. So basically if we have any index, not index, if we have any scanned PDF, so we can understand it other way around, like if we have a PDF file and in that PDF file we have image, because suppose we don't have text in the PDF, we have images, so we need to make this property true. So when we index that file in the Solr, so Tikka, it will use the Apache Tikka internally, and Tikka can easily understand, okay, so it means the user should be able to index or upload the scanned PDF, the PDF which contains images. So you need to make this property true here. So in the same way, we have a parser file for ODF open. This is for tesseract. We have for MP4, MP3, mail, JPG. So I mean, if you have worked on the Java, so you must have aware what is the meaning of class file. So it is basically a executable code. So when you write a program in the Java and you compile it, it create the class file, which is the extension of that file is .class, and the name of that file is the name of your class name. So that basically compiled file which can be executed. Okay, so Tikka has written all these parts or all the Java code to parse a different type of format, rich text format. So they have written, Tikka community has written a Java code, and they um, created a jar file, a class file. So and Solr can use of it, and we can stand alone can use Tikka. We can download it, we can configure it, and we can write a Java code to parse any rich text format with the help of Apache Tikka. So these are the what we call the format which is supported by Tikka. So Tikka is not only using these files, they have written the jar file, I mean the class file. If we take the example of PDF, so we have PDF folder inside this parser, Tikka parser, but it internally use all this library also. What libraries I can tell you, I will not extract this time, I will just give you the overview. So if you go to okay, yeah, here we can see. So for PDF parser, Tikka use internally these classes: PDF box, POI, XML. So if you have written any program in Java to basically parse or basically read the PDF file, so you need all these jar. So Tikka use all these jar internally, though they have written their classes, but those classes are using these jar. So we need to have all these jar. So when you use Tikka in a standalone mode without using a third party like Solr or any other tool, Then you need to make sure that you have copies, all the you have copied all these jar, required jar. Otherwise a program will not work. So when you install Solr, those files comes automatically. You don't need to put any extra effort for this. But if you are working on standalone mode, so you need to make sure what jar should be there in your class path, in your class folder, to execute your program properly without any error. So in the same way, PDF we have it has jar for like XMLs, it has jar for XLS, so all the rich format, and all this and the these are the supported jar, but the actual code is written in the Apache Tikka parser and the corresponding folders, which we have seen here. So but these parts are basically using internally the actual file, actual jar, which is written by the communities, these libraries. So that is all that is about the Apache Tikka. So it's very important to understand it, because we are working on Solr, but we should know how internally it is working. So always remember, we need two things here. One is Tikka and another one is the tesseract. So when we have combination of these two, it means we can index and we can search all these kind of formats, because images are supported by Tikka. Language we have already seen how we can put more option, how we can use the train data, and apart from the images, for rest of the rich format we can use Tikka. So in Solr we don't need to put any extra effort. All these things are automatically get installed when we install Solr on our machine. So here we installed Solr on Windows, but we can install the same on Linux or Mac also. So it's not a big deal. You can get the steps easily. You just if I give you example of Unix, you can download the .tgz file, which is basically a tar file, or you can download the gz file, that is a compressed file, with the help of wget command, and then you can follow the steps which is mentioned on the Google. So you can just type install Solr on the Linux, so you will get all the steps what you need to do. You need to basically extract this folder, that folder in the Linux, and then when you go to the bin folder you can start the Solr, and then you can configure tesseract with the Solr to make use of it. So once you configure on this thing, you will be able to index any kind of document, and you will be able to search any kind of document in the Solr. So that is all about Tikka. Or if you are confused, which jar we should download for the Tikka, so what you can do, you can write a code, and you can create the maven project, and in the maven dependency, in the pom.xml file, you just need to put these lines and make sure that your internet is on, so it download and import all the dependency which is required in your program. So all the helps are given on the UI in the net, on the Tikka site. So you can, here we have all the commands. If you want to use Tikka as a command line utility, we can go to command prompt and we can follow these steps. So So with the help of it we can use it in the command line, and we can also work on the Unix pipeline. Okay, so all these things are given here, and in Solr we have already understood how it is using internally Apache Tikka, and we have seen the architecture, what folder we have opened the jar, we have extracted the jar, and we have seen what kind of formats it supported, and where it is where it kept all these files in the Solr physical directory structure. So it's basically contrib, extraction, and we have all the jars. So if you have any confusion, you can go to this folder, you can copy any jar and you can extract that jar, and you can see all these files whatever is there. So when we write a Java program, so to make it executable, we export that program into the jar file. So in the same way, we are just extracting to see the content of the jar file. So you need to have some software like 7-zip or any unzip tool by which you can unzip all the jar file, and you can extract the content, and you can see what is there in in that jar file internally. So now we have seen the architecture of a tesseract on the internal structure. We have seen the internal structure of Tikka and how it works. Okay, and how it runs behind this Solr, why we are able to index all the document in Solr, and we have seen we have indexed all of the formats most which is used mostly in the current era, in the current industries like XML, Excel, doc, images, PDF. So this so far we upload and search the content on with the help of command line and on with the help of Solr admin page. So now in my next session we are going to write a Java code, and with the help of we will import the Solr libraries, and we will call Solr method through that Java program, and we will index the uh, documents, and then we will search it. So in my next session we will start with the Java code for the Solr.